The courtroom is silent, papers shuffle, eyes watch. But behind this silence, a war is raging. Blake Lively thought she had everything under control. She filed a court document demanding punitive damages, treble damages, and millions of dollars from Justin Baldoni. This wasn't her first strike, it was her third attack. 3 separate times she's gone after Justin for money, or worse, tried to silence Wayfair's voice through legal sanctions. To put it into perspective, Leslie Sloan filed 2 motions, Blake's own husband filed another, bringing the total to 6 motions, each one designed to squeeze millions of dollars from Wayfair. But this latest motion, this wasn't about justice. It was theatrics, a public relations stunt carefully staged to grab headlines, not to win a case. Her so-called 30-page filing, a chaotic mess of recycled arguments, ones the judge had already scolded in earlier hearings. But this time, Blake added a new twist, a mysterious, anonymous figure, claiming they'd had negative interactions with Justin Baldoni. This wasn't about facts, it was about creating an image, painting Justin as a man so toxic that his exclusion from sets and marketing campaigns seemed inevitable. And here's the most unsettling part. I don't know Justin Baldoni personally. I don't know Blake Lively personally. For all I know, either one of them could be the villain in this story. But when one side keeps hammering the other in public, filing motion after motion designed to smear their opponent, it doesn't look like strength. It looks like desperation. And this move, introducing a redacted affidavit from a nameless accuser, reeks of desperation. In a real court of law, why would anyone need to hide their identity under oath? Because maybe, just maybe, this battle isn't about justice at all. It's about winning in the court of public opinion. But this dangerous game is about to spiral out of control, and the next revelation will shatter everything. The lights flash, cameras click, and amid the glamour of a film premiere, a whispered conversation changes the entire narrative. Blake Lively's team clings to this moment like a lifeline. They claim it proves Wayfair's conspiracy to destroy her. Here's the story Blake tells. At the New York premiere on August 6, 2024, Steve Sarowitz, co-founder and chairman of Wayfair, a man with billions at his disposal, allegedly told a witness he was ready to spend $100 million to ruin the lives of Blake Lively and her family. As if that weren't terrifying enough, later that same month, he supposedly said something even more chilling to a completely unrelated witness. If Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds ever cross the line, I will go after them. I will protect the studio like Israel protects itself from Hamas. There were 39,000 dead bodies. There will be 2 dead bodies when I'm done. Minimum A statement designed to instill fear, to sound like a promise of destruction. And Blake's team ran with it, framing Steve as a villain plotting retaliation. But the truth is murkier. Steve later clarified that he didn't mean literal death. Dead, he explained, was symbolic, meaning Blake and Ryan would be dead to him. In other words, he was willing to burn resources defending his studio, not physically harm anyone. Think about it. Blake has repeatedly threatened lawsuits. Steve responding with a vow to protect his business is not a crime. It's self-defense. Yet Blake's team twisted those words into a narrative of revenge, claiming Wayfair's very lawsuit was a weaponized act of retaliation. In their motion, they even wrote, "The Wayfair parties openly discussed their intent to retaliate against Miss Lively by weaponizing the legal system." But here's the cold, hard truth. Filing a lawsuit isn't retaliation, it's a constitutional right. Even worse, the so-called evidence behind these claims? Completely redacted. No names, no context, just black bars hiding the truth, leaving the public to fill in the blanks with imagination and fear. And yet, Blake's team leaked the story to TMZ, sparking a media frenzy. The headlines screamed danger and corruption, but in reality, nothing concrete was revealed. What Blake didn't count on was Judge Lyman's ruling. A ruling so sharp, so precise, it slices through her narrative and exposes her entire strategy for what it really is: smoke and mirrors. The next moment in court would flip this case on its head, leaving Blake's team scrambling. The courtroom doors swing open. Blake Lively sits, poised and confident, until Judge Lyman begins to speak. His words are not just a ruling, they're a hammer crashing down on her entire strategy. Blake's team had built their case around one chilling narrative, that Steve Sarowitz's words at the New York premiere were proof of a conspiracy to retaliate against her. They argued that these statements were evidence of a dark plan to destroy her career and reputation, but Judge Lyman saw right through it. In his motion to dismiss ruling, he dismantled their argument piece by piece. The amended complaint alleges that Steve Sarowitz threatened to ruin the lives of Miss Lively and her family while attending the film's premiere. Yes, he acknowledged the words were shocking. Yes, they were deeply unsettling. But then came the devastating blow. Lively has not alleged facts showing that this was an overt act performed by any conspirator for the purpose of accomplishing the objectives of a conspiracy. In other words alone aren't enough. For a conspiracy to exist, there must be action, a deliberate move to advance the plot. Judge Lyman continued, "A mere conversation between two individuals about a conspiracy does not suffice. There is nothing to suggest Sarowitz was attempting to recruit a co-conspirator, cause lively distress, or take any other action in furtherance of a conspiracy." The message was clear. Steve's statement was just talk, not proof of a criminal plan. This left Blake's team scrambling. Their entire argument, that Wayfair's lawsuit itself was retaliation, suddenly collapsed. The judge made it crystal clear. Filing a lawsuit is not retaliation. It's a legal right, but Blake wasn't ready to give up. She pivoted, trying to twist the narrative once again. Her new claim, that Steve's so-called threat wasn't about a smear campaign or a digital attack? No. Now she argued the lawsuit itself was the ultimate act of revenge. And yet, Blake's team wasn't done playing dirty. To keep their story alive, they introduced something even more outrageous. A mysterious, fully redacted declaration claiming to contain explosive allegations against Justin Baldoni. No name, no context, just a shadow figure whispering accusations from behind a veil of secrecy. And when this blacked-out document hit the court, it didn't just sit quietly in the record. Almost immediately, it appeared in TMZ's headlines. But here's the twist Blake didn't expect. Her bold move might have backfired, because what's inside that redacted declaration could destroy her credibility completely. The question now isn't just who this witness is, but why Blake went to such extreme lengths to hide them. A document slides across the judge's bench, but unlike every other piece of evidence, this one looks different. Entire paragraphs blacked out, lines vanished under heavy ink, a witness who doesn't even have a name. This isn't evidence, it's a mystery. Blake Lively's legal team submitted this anonymous declaration, claiming it would expose Justin Baldoni as abusive and unfit to work on set. But when the judge's eyes scanned the page, here's what the public would never see: who this witness is, what project they're referring to, and most importantly, why they're even involved in this case at all. The only words that escaped the blackout were vague, hollow accusations. "I had repeated negative interactions with Mr. Baldoni, including verbal abuse." That's it. No details, no dates, nothing that could be cross-examined or verified. And then came the biggest twist of all. The witness wasn't even part of It Ends With Us, the film at the heart of this legal war. This was about another completely unrelated project. Yet Blake's team paraded it as if it were smoking gun evidence. Why? Because this wasn't about winning in court. This was about winning in the headlines. Within hours of filing the motion, TMZ broke the story. Exclusive, Blake Lively's witness claims verbal abuse by Justin Baldoni. The timing was too perfect to be coincidence. It was a calculated leak, a move designed to create outrage and paint Justin as a monster in the public eye. But here's the problem Blake didn't anticipate. In federal court, under Rule 404B, prior bad acts can't be used just to prove someone has a bad character. It's called propensity evidence, and it's almost always inadmissible. Why? Because it's unfair. It misleads juries into thinking, if he was bad before, he must be bad now, without actually proving the case at hand. That means this mystery witness can't even testify. Their entire declaration is legally worthless. It exists only for one purpose: to manipulate public opinion. Blake accused Wayfair's lawyer, Brian Friedman, of trying to sway the jury pool, but now she's the one doing exactly that. Weaponizing TMZ, weaponizing secrecy, weaponizing fear. And the stakes couldn't be higher, because if this backfires, it won't just damage her case. It could expose Blake herself as the true manipulator, the one who staged a media war to hide a crumbling legal argument. But there's still one question no one has answered. Who is this ghost witness? And why are they so dangerous that their very identity must be erased? The answer might finally reveal how far Blake is willing to go, and what she's most desperate to keep hidden. The noise of the media storm grows louder every day. But Wayfair says nothing. No statements, no leaks, no desperate headlines. Their silence has become a weapon, and it's cutting Blake Lively down piece by piece. Blake's retaliation claims have twisted and turned so many times, they no longer resemble the truth. At first, she swore there was a clandestine smear campaign, shadowy figures working behind the scenes to destroy her. Then, she pointed the finger at 107 online creators, claiming they were the army tasked with tearing her down. And now, her latest twist is almost unthinkable. She claims that Wayfair's lawsuit itself, the very act of defending their name, is an attack of retaliation against her. But here's the brutal reality. Even the judge doesn't buy it. For retaliation to exist, the action must be directly connected to her speaking out about a protected issue, like sexual harassment. And yet, Blake's accusations have grown so scattered and vague that nothing lines up anymore. While she flails, Wayfair remains calm, watching, waiting. Every time Blake runs to TMZ with another dramatic leak, every time she stages another headline-grabbing stunt, she believes she's gaining power. But in truth, she's exposing just how weak her case really is. Even legal experts are whispering, if Blake truly had a strong case, she wouldn't need all this noise. The facts alone would be enough. And the facts? They're slipping through her fingers. Because federal court rules are crystal clear. Verbal abuse and vague negative interactions are not sexual harassment. Anonymous witnesses with blacked-out statements are not admissible evidence. Headlines and public outrage are not proof of retaliation. This leaves Blake with nothing but smoke and mirrors, while Wayfair's quiet patience makes her every move seem louder, more desperate, more dangerous. It's like watching a queen slowly crumble on a chessboard. The more pieces she throws into battle, the more obvious it becomes that her king is cornered. And then comes the darkest twist of all. To keep her fragile narrative alive, Blake's legal team is digging deeper than ever before, even into the private lives of people completely outside this lawsuit. They've reached so far into discovery that they've uncovered personal conversations between a father and daughter about a dog, and discussions about whether Melissa Nathan might hire a lawyer. These people aren't even parties to the case. Yet Blake's team drags them into the spotlight. This isn't just a lawsuit anymore. It's a hunt. And the further Blake pushes, the more it feels like she's losing control of the very monster she created. But here's what no one sees coming. In her quest to destroy Wayfair and Justin Baldoni, Blake might have set a trap for herself. And when it snaps shut, it won't just end her case. It could end her career. The world is watching Blake Lively. Every move she makes, every headline she leaks, every word she whispers to TMZ. At first, her supporters cheered. They believed her story. They believed her. But now, even the most loyal voices are starting to fall silent. Why? Because the cracks are no longer just visible. They're gaping wounds. The people who once defended Blake are seeing the truth unfold. Her case isn't built on solid ground. It's built on shifting sands of manipulation, anonymous witnesses, and publicity stunts. She claimed there was a smear campaign orchestrated from the shadows. But where was the proof? She blamed 107 creators, saying they were the soldiers in this war. But where was the evidence? And now, she has taken her most extreme stance yet, painting Wayfair's lawsuit as a personal attack, twisting their legal right to defend themselves into a villainous plot of retaliation. Each time she changes her story, she doesn't just confuse the public. She weakens herself. The judge sees it. The media senses it. And even her allies are beginning to walk away quietly, afraid of sinking with her. Meanwhile, Wayfair remains silent. They've said nothing for so long that their silence has become deafening. And in that quiet, Blake's own voice grows louder, more frantic, more unhinged. It's the sound of someone fighting shadows, swinging wildly, hoping something, anything, will land. But here's the truth no one can deny. If Blake had a winning case, she wouldn't need this circus. She wouldn't need to stage TMZ exclusives, or leak blacked-out affidavits, or spin vague threats into conspiracies. The facts alone would win. But Blake doesn't have facts. She only has chaos. And in federal court, chaos doesn't win. The law is cold, calculated, and precise. It strips away the headlines, the outrage, the manipulation. until all that's left is truth. Right now, Wayfair's truth is steady. Blake's truth is unraveling. And as she stands there in the center of the storm she created, there's a chilling realization creeping across her face. The very game she played to destroy others may now destroy her. Because when the final ruling comes down, it won't just be about losing a case. It will be about losing everything. Her credibility, her power, her legacy, and the silence that follows might be the loudest sound of all. Don't miss the next headline. Like, subscribe and turn on that notification bell.